All right, so here's how to be the man who finally breaks the cycle. You have to rewrite your identity. Does any of this sound familiar to you? Money doesn't grow on trees. Rich people are evil. It's hard for rich people to get in the kingdom of God. Have you ever said those things, or have you heard them, or even more importantly, do you believe them? When I was a kid, those things got thrown around all the time. Those types of sayings, like but by my parents, grandparents, my aunts, uncles, my community leaders, the people in my church, everywhere I went, it just felt heavy. It felt like people that had money also had some problem that I couldn't see, and I was confused. It didn't make sense to me. How could the fact that they have money make them terrible people? It didn't connect. And because I was young and because of the people that were saying these things to me, I never really questioned it. I just always believed it. So here are some of the warning signs. You self-sabotage. You might have an opportunity to make some more money or to go after an investment, and you don't do it because you feel guilty. You spend a lot of time thinking about what others don't have and somehow correlate that with you making more money. So I need you to stop doing this right now. I need you to stop using your upbringing and what has happened to you in the past as an excuse. I need you to stop spending so much time with people that bring you down, that the people that talk bad about money and the other goals that you're trying to achieve. And what was the second part? I need you to stop waiting until you feel ready. Here's how you stop, and here's how you fix this. Number one, you have to be the one that rewrites everything, that changes your beliefs. Number two, you have to change your inputs. You have to change the things and the voices that you're putting into your head. Like what books are you reading? Who are the people that you're spending time with? What are you viewing on social media? Is it all negative about wealth? When you stop doing this, here's the payoff. So what happens is you stop following the old scripts. You rewrite everything for yourself. You stop being the man that thought that you weren't good enough and that you didn't deserve wealth, and you start building it. You start building a legacy, because the truth is, it's not all about you. It's about what you leave behind. What about your kids? What about the people that you can help? I always say that anybody that says that money is evil must have not given enough of it away, because there's so much good that can be done with it. And when you become the type of person that is deserving, and you believe that you're the type of person that is deserving of wealth, everything changes. Then you start seeing opportunities where they didn't appear before. And just start there. Learn what you were never taught. That's another way that you can break the cycle. Here's the thing is, it's probably the case that nobody taught you about money, but it's not other people's responsibility. And I struggled with that for a long time. I was wondering, hey, why didn't people tell me about these things? Why didn't people show me how much good could be done with money years ago in my teenage and my formative years? Why didn't anybody teach me that? And then I realized it was my responsibility. And so you need to stop blaming other people and do something for yourself. Because if you continue to wing it, you're going to be stuck for another couple of decades. So here's some warning signs that you might actually be winging it. Think about the stress and the emotion that comes when you have conversations about money. Well, how does it feel when you're at the store and your kid asks you to buy them something? What's the language around that? A lot of people say, I can't afford that, or we don't have enough money. And that's just the wrong thing to say. You make big financial moves on a gut feeling. So if money's up, you go and make a big financial decision and you don't put a lot of planning and effort into it. The thing is, there's a bunch of money terms that you haven't even put enough time into learning about and understanding. So here's the thing is that you just need to take accountability, because it's not about what people did or didn't teach you before. It's not about anybody else now. It's about you and the legacy that you're going to leave behind. So you have to answer that question for yourself. Do I care more about making excuses and not changing than I do about what I'm going to leave behind? So it's time for you to take ownership of what you don't know and change it. Rewrite the script. You have to start finding good resources and spending time with people that know more than you do. Get into those rooms that lift you up, that motivate you, and stop making the excuses. Man, that was over. Do something about it. Get the fundamentals down. That's what you really need to do. You have to learn about assets. You have to learn about making passive income, making money while you sleep. You have to learn about taxes, limiting that tax liability so you have more to invest. Cash flow and how that affects your business and affects what you're investing in. You need to be learning from people who have actually done it, not the people who necessarily have the most views, but the people that have the track record, people that are better and the people that are better at building wealth than they are a social media account. Here's the thing is that a lot of times people get nervous because they don't see leaps and bounds, these huge improvements early on. But what we're talking about right now is learning first and then changing your habits. So it's all right if you do one or two things at a time where you're just starting slow, because eventually it's going to escalate. And one day to the next, it's going to be a huge difference. But you got to put in the work, you got to change the mentality, and you got to change the habits early on. Because then you become deliberate, right? You start being proactive and you start making specific moves on purpose, and they're focused and they're planned out. And when that starts to happen, even though there's going to be some mistakes in there always will be. If you're not making mistakes, then you're not trying. And if you're not trying, you're not getting any better. So those things are going to happen. But when you're more deliberate and you're more thoughtful about what's going on, you're controlling your money and you have that purpose in mind. You have, what is that I want for my kids? What do I want to leave them? When you have that in mind, it is the greatest source of motivation for building wealth. Because the interesting thing is, people think that a great motivator for building wealth is what they can do with their money, the latest car, the bigger house. But studies show that it's really about other people. When you have other people in mind, you're going to go through what it takes, those things that are necessary in order to build wealth, when you probably wouldn't if it were just for a nicer car. And when you make these moves on purpose, the results, they just start to stack. And finally, if you want to break the cycle, you got to build it, and you got to build it to pass it on. So one of the mistakes that I see a lot of guys make is they find some success. They build a nice life for themselves. They start to build some financial success, and they let that be the end. They let that stop. They don't create this generational wealth. They don't create this progress, and it limits their legacy because they make this mistake of thinking that it's about them, when really their legacy is about somebody else. What happens when they're gone? And so if they get to this point in life where, hey, I'm comfortable, I've achieved what I want to achieve, that's where the problem occurs, because the progress stops. And it's like, deep down, I know that individual. I know you want something more. You want something more for yourself, and you want something more for your children. And so you have to push through that comfort zone. You have to push through that, hey, I've done a good job, this is enough, so that you can build something and help your children do the same. So how do you know you're falling into that trap? Here are some of the warning signs. You don't spend a lot of time thinking about after you're gone. You don't think about what happens with your kids and what your grandkids end up doing. You don't plan for it. You don't talk about the future. You're stuck in the here and now and just the day-to-day of stuff, as opposed to thinking about 10, 20 years from now. You're not planning for your retirement. You're not teaching your kids about the importance of money. You're not teaching them about you're not teaching them about the things that they can achieve and motivating them to do those things. So essentially, you're building wealth, but it doesn't have a system to outlast you. All right, so these are the things you have to stop doing. Stop treating money like it's a taboo topic where you can't talk about it. A lot of parents do that. They feel uncomfortable, and I think a lot of it stems from them feeling inadequate or that they don't do enough for their kids. Deep down, all your kids really want is your time anyway. The legacy that you leave them and the things that you teach them about money, that's a bonus. Also, you have to stop building income that entirely depends on you putting in your time and effort. You have to instead build passive sources of revenue. And going back to your kids, stop thinking that they're just going to figure it out. Look at the hard work that you've had to put in to break the cycle. You have to make sure to teach them about money. Make sure that they're making wise decisions, they have good money habits, and that they're in control of every dollar that they spend. You have to build assets, stack them so that they live long past you. So you have to have a plan for this. You have to set up different accounts. You have to diversify your assets. You have to take ownership of what you're trying to build so that these things continue to produce wealth and money long after you're gone. So here's the thing is that you don't just break the cycle. What you're doing is you're starting a new one. And that's even more important because breaking the cycle, that's just for you. But when you create a new cycle, what you're doing is you're leaving something behind that you didn't have an opportunity to have in your life. You kind of started fresh, right? Because you had to break the cycle. Now what you're doing is the people that come behind you, they get a head start. You're helping them not just financially, but also with this incredible confidence and motivation. One thing that money does is it builds confidence and it changes how you view yourself. So you're giving your kids this opportunity and helping them know money's not evil. There's so much good that you can do with it. And you're showing that by example. And you're breaking all of these bad beliefs, especially about yourself, all those beliefs that you had that you weren't worthy of money, that money was evil, all those things. You're changing. You're not just breaking that cycle that you had. You're creating a new pattern for your kids that will live on long after you're gone. Give them a head start instead of a struggle. Leave them in a better position. That's the real legacy.